Hi everyone, it's Victor speaking, and there is no better time than today to speak about the ninth house. And the reason being is because this is one of my first videos from Bulgaria. I arrived at the weekend, it was very hectic, but I am here. So let's dive into what ninth house means. But before we do that, please just press like, ring the notification bell, and also share it with others as well who want to learn about astrology. And speaking about astrology learning, I am going to be holding a Horary Master course, which is going to be 16 weeks long. And we're going to start from the beginning. We're going to give you a foundation. And then eventually we're going to go through each of the house meanings and possible questions they can ask. Horary is something which is about specific questions, so you should expect specific answers. Questions you can ask, such as like, where are my keys? Does he love me? Has he cheated on me? Am I going to catch COVID? And something which is a yes or no type of question. But without any further ado, let's dive into the meanings of the ninth house. So after having so much crisis situation and pain generated in the eighth house, now you are a lot wiser and you are ready to hit the world. Ninth house always look at things from a spiritual and optimistic point of view. We start looking at things, why things have happened at certain ways, and trying to get ready so that doesn't happen again. It is the house of trying to find the meaning to life. This house is connected with the divine knowledge, philosophy, and religion. Even if you don't believe any of those, but this is the house where you start believing in yourself. You start looking at your morals and your belief system. And I tend to call our belief systems as scripts. Now I have made a video about scripts already. I recommend checking that out on my YouTube channel just to know how you generate your subconscious thoughts, which is very much about the ninth house. And we can see at what age it happened, which usually happens between your birth till approximately about age 7. So, but this is the house where you create the laws according to which you want to live your life. I believe that the ninth house carries the ultimate life purpose energy within itself. And the reason being is because this is the house of gods. This is the house of divine knowledge. And in order for you to access that information, you have to connect your higher self. So the ninth house can talk to you about your karmic journey, basically, in this incarnation. In astrology, it rules over higher education and your university projects as well. So you will be able to see um, whether the university studies you choose for yourself, whether it's going to be serving your career. So I give you an example. In order for you to have your university studies serving your career, there needs to be at least some reception going on between the ninth and the 10th house by essential dignity, and possibly maybe an aspect as well. And the house class would be deciding for you what type of university studies you need. So if it's, for instance, a cardinal energy there, then you are better off with courses, apprenticeship programs. And the reason being is because you can easily get bored. And as we discussed in the third house, courses are seen actually more likely from third house. However, here we can discuss the ones which gives you diploma or a degree. In this house, you look at things from a broader perspective. And therefore, this is the house of long distance travel. You travel to gain more perspectives and broaden your horizon. So, relocation to a foreign country also belongs here, and somehow getting to know the different cultures. So those people, for instance, who have got fixed signs on the ninth house cusp, they are a lot more reluctant to relocate because fixity is all about staying in one place. So as I said, when you travel, you will get to know different cultures, but it's not just the physical travel which belongs here, but you can also travel between dimensions. So no wonder why the galactic center is connected with Sagittarius, which is, by the way, the sign of the ninth house. Because at night, apparently between 11 and 1 a.m., your soul is reconnecting with the galactic center to get lessons for the following days. So therefore, any type of spiritual studies is also covered by the ninth house, such as astrology. So in my opinion, tarot cards and angel cards are more related to the eighth house rather than the ninth. However, when it comes to tarot cards, those are also divine messages as well, which need translation. So to be frank, I don't want to distinguish them at all. But for me, the ninth house is more about trying to decode um, like glimpses and symbols. And the eighth house is for more, it's more visual actually. Because to be frank, when you are trying to interpret tarot cards, you don't necessarily need the skill. You just need to visualize the card in front of you and then how you can translate that into our everyday lives. But maybe I'm wrong about it. And that's the reason why I said at the beginning, I don't want to distinguish them. So the eighth and the ninth house are very much about occult studies. So ninth house is also the house of expanded family, especially about your in-laws, but as well as your grandchildren. Grandchildren in a sense because they are the fifth from the fifth house. So the children of my own children. But this house also represents the teachers in your life and also whether the university studies serves your career or not. Now, those teachers are not just the ones in the educational system. Those are people who might just give you a lesson or a little bit of a preaching, but also your spiritual gurus might be seen from the ninth house, but they can also be seen from the 11th as well. But I'm going to be speaking about that when we get to the 11th house. Now, uh, seventh house is the lower court cases. The ninth house is more about the supreme court cases. This is true for your natal chart. For Horary, for instance, every single court case is going to be treated as a seventh house matter and also 10th house because of the judge. So the questions, usually the ninth house is asking you to answer is, why are you here? What is your purpose in life? How do you pursue religious and philosophical issues? What is a long distance travel like for you? What will your relationship with your in-laws be like? So this is the house of like the voyage of discovery, understanding concepts and theories. Also ninth house meta, meeting ideas which shapes your belief system. That's why the mentoring side of things pop into the picture. But also, if someone wants to write books, so the ninth house, you publish the book with, and then you write the books with the third house. However, the physical book itself is the fifth house. And the reason being is because you gave birth to a project. Um, Now, in many cases, the ninth house is also prominent in our chart when you live at home, but you are dealing with international matters. So that's also a possibility. Ninth house also covers over mass media, especially if you've got Pluto in there. That's, for instance, a very good indication that someone would be good in marketing and mass media related jobs. So this is the house that encourages us to think big and bold and to consider the future in the broadest term. So third house is your words you use. Ninth house is the higher level of communication. So therefore, media, publishing, or even literature. This house very much connected with divination, cultural connections. But in medical fields, this house will talk to you about your bum, how you coordinate, the hip and the thighs area. When it comes to the inner organs, it's going to be ruling over your liver and pancreas. Now, with the ninth house, we tend to overdo things. So if you have got planets in the ninth house, it might be an indication that that body organ the planet represents is actually overworking. So sometimes you're going to have to slow down. But also, by the way, the fifth and the ninth house very much related to sport activities. I might not have mentioned that when we were discussing the fifth house, but the fifth house is, in my opinion, something we do for fun. The ninth house, we might do that on a professional level as well. So we always need to be a little bit careful with the ninth house because this is the house of excess. So we can overdo things, and then obviously that takes attention away from other elements of your chart. So if you want to be turning the house, then basically this is going to be their father's health situation because this is the sixth house from the fourth. So the fourth is the father, and then if you count six houses away, then we're going to get to the ninth house. Also, speaking about parents, this is going to be the 12th sign from the 10th house, which is going to be talking about your mom's secrets and also the losses she might need to go through. This house will represent your grandchildren because this is the fifth from the fifth, right? So your fifth house is your children, and then if you count five away from there, you're going to be getting to the ninth house again, and those are going to be your grandchildren. Also, this is the third from the seventh house. So it does talk about how your partner communicates, your partner's communication style. And speaking about partners, this is the seventh from the third house, right? Because the opposites are always the seventh. So it's going to be talking about the siblings, partner, and spouse. But also, this house can represent legal matters among your relatives as well. So, when it comes to the mundane meaning of ninth house, well, ninth house corresponds to the long distance travel, whether for passengers or commerce. So, therefore, something to do with air travel, shipping, sea travel, foreign imports and exports, foreign lands, high seas, and weather conditions around the coast. All those are represented by the ninth house. It does rule over foreigners, exchange students, immigration, visa matters, long distance communication as well. It also rules over legal professions, religious affairs, and religion itself, the church, justice, lawyers, and court cases. It represents the universities, academies, higher education, science, publishing, books, and basically the education system. It also, especially the higher educational system, belongs here. Great. So this is the meaning of your ninth house. I hope you have enjoyed this video. So don't forget to give us some love, and we will be back shortly with the meanings of the 10th house. Have a blessed day, everyone, and see you very soon. Bye bye.